Hello everybody, it's jab day! I'm gonna get straight on with my jab. I am just about to start my new 10mg pen. This is my third 10mg pen. This week is my 37th jab, my 36th weigh-in, and this is the last pen that I have now in stock. So when this one's up, I will have to get a new pen. I'm going to stay with Mounjaro, at least for now. I can justify buying one more pen at the very least, and then just take it a pen at a time. But I do intend on staying on Mounjaro. I know a lot of people have switched over to Ozempic, and it's worked for some people, but I have also heard that it does not work the same for some people. I've actually heard, I know quite a few people who are now on Ozempic, and it feels like I have some people who've never been on Mounjaro, and they've gone straight onto Ozempic and they're finding it amazing, and they're like, wow, this is amazing. I also know of a couple of people who have been on Mounjaro and now are on Ozempic, and they don't rate it the same. Maybe because they've been on Mounjaro and know what Mounjaro can do, and Ozempic maybe doesn't quite hit the spot. It still does the same thing, but not quite as good as the Mounjaro. You tell me, have you switched from Mounjaro to Ozempic? Because from what I'm kind of gathering from people who have switched, it just doesn't have quite the same kick as Mounjaro does in terms of reducing the food noise. I guess it still balances all your whatever it balances. So I don't think I want to risk going to Ozempic unless I absolutely have to. I'm going to stick with my Mounjaro. I'm going to bite the bullet. I'm going to take the hit, the financial hit, and I am staying on my track to get to where I want to be in my target. I'm staying on Mounjaro. I'm going to treat myself. Let's call it a treat, a reward for me. I think if I had not been buying my pens in advance due to the price increase, I possibly would have gone up to the next size pen. Not because it's not working completely, and maybe, you know, that's a bit lazy of me to say I would have gone up a pen, because it is working. I do have the suppression in that I don't snack in between meals. I don't think about food all the time. You know, that suppression element is really, really good. But something that I have noticed this last week, and maybe over the last few weeks, which is possibly why I have been struggling to lose weight like quickly and maintaining over the last few weeks, upon reflection, sort of trying to think, why has it slowed down so much? And I know it does slow down. I know weight loss does slow down as you have less to lose, but I don't have nothing to lose. I'm not skinnier than I was, but I'm still quite big, so I still got a lot to lose. And some people would be starting at the point where I am to get down, like starting at 13 stone to get down to 10 stone, and they would have it flying off. And I can only put that down to, one, my body is totally adapted to the way that I eat and live, and the drug, I've been doing it for 9 months. I feel like, you know, once you settle into it, then your body does adapt to it and it's used to it. And I guess perhaps when you first start dieting, there's a shock in your body and it reacts to it, and you lose weight quite quickly. You know, when you first start, some people would say like you could have a break from dieting and then you can have a restart and you can lose a lot more that way. But two, I also think that although I'm not eating in between meals and I'm not snacking, my portion sizes have increased again. They've started to increase. I need to put less on my plate. Sometimes I look at my plates and they are so full, and I very much have the mentality of I will eat and eat and eat and eat. I will not stop. Even when I am full, I will continue eating. And that is, I think, my biggest struggle with my weight is I could just keep eating. My brain doesn't stop me eating pre-Mounjaro. And I feel like the Mounjaro has kept that under maintenance possibly until now. So I'm not putting weight on or anything, and I haven't reverted back because I'm not eating loads and loads and loads. But I think when I have my meals, I'm eating too much. Quantities are too big, and I eat the whole thing. I've never been one to go, oh, I've eaten half a plate, I can't eat anymore. I mean, I did last night. I had a bolognese, not last night, the night before. I had a bolognese, and I put so much on my plate just because it just kind of, you add one thing and then you add another thing and then you add another thing, and before you know it, the plate's huge. And I did actually not eat it because I was full, but I was beyond full. And then I was like, this is silly. And I left like that much. But I'd eaten the rest of it by that point, so there was, damage was already done. I'd eaten the whole plate except for this tiny little bit. And to me, it was a win leaving that little bit of food, because I just don't leave food on the plate. I don't have an empty plate. So that was a little bit of a win, but I feel like now I should be able to have small portions. I should have trained myself, but I think over the last few weeks, my portion sizes have creeped back up. And I also know that I started snacking after I eat and then want something sweet. So I don't snack in between meals, but I eat a full meal, a big meal, and then I want something else. And I feel like at the beginning of this Mounjaro journey, I was able to eat my meal and then I didn't need anything else. Now I'm starting to feel like I need something else. I need my meal and then I need something to finish that meal off. So I might dip into the kids' sweet tub. I don't eat a whole packet of sweets, but I do dip into their sweets, or a chocolate bar, or, you know, it's just little habits that I think I need to get a check of and rein them back in. And part of that needs to be me. I need to do that. I need to challenge myself to not overeat. And part of me thinks I would quite like to have been on the next dose. But I don't want to go on the next dose. This does have the suppression. The 10 milligram does have the suppression. It's just when I sit down to eat. The way my brain works at the minute is I don't think about food until I'm hungry, until I'm actually hungry and it's mealtime. So then I start eating, and when I start eating, I can't stop. And that's what I've been like. I guess the difference was before I was hungry all the time. So I would start eating and I would not stop, and I would continuously eat throughout the day until I was absolutely sick, and then I wouldn't eat anything. And then I'd punish myself and say, oh, you're disgusting. How could you have eaten all that? That's gross. You are just horrible, and you can't eat for the next 2 days. And I would say that to myself. I'd say, right, now you can't eat. You've eaten your entire week's worth of calories in 1 day. You can't eat now for 2 days. And that never works, because I would try and then not eat, and then I would get so hungry and then overindulge. And it was a vicious circle. So now I'm not eating all the time, but when I start eating, I have noticed that I started eating and then I'm just eating until eventually I give myself some willpower to stop. And it is pure me talking to myself and saying, come on, you need to stop. And I don't even stop then. I eat a bit more and then I stop. Now, I don't think I'm doing any damage as per se, otherwise I would be putting weight back on. But it's a bit like I was saying last week, it's a worry for going forwards. It is a genuine worry for me going forwards. What's the long term of this going to be? God, I wish I could just take my brain and just fry it. I really do. When it comes to food, I hate my brain. I absolutely hate my brain. It just doesn't work right. It just doesn't work right at all. And I hate myself for it. and this is awful. I've had 9 months of this now, and I feel like I'm frustrated at me, not at the situation. I'm frustrated at me because I don't want it to slip back. Okay, anyway, let's have a look at what I weigh this week, shall we? Last week I weighed in at 13 stone and 5 pounds and was sitting on a maintain. This week I've weighed in at 13 stone and 3 pounds. Thank you very much. Which is officially my 4.5 stone. Well done me. I officially got my 4.5 stone shiny certificate and sticker from Slimming World on Thursday, and I am dead chuffed to hit that 4.5 stone mark. That is just unbelievable. I can't believe I've never lost 4.5 stone. I think the most I've ever lost was 3 stone. That's the most I've ever lost. I mean, I had more to lose, which means made 4.5 stone more sort of attainable, but I can't believe that I've lost 4.5 stone. Genuinely can't believe it. Even if it is slow and steady, it is going down. So that is 2 pounds this week that I've lost, which makes up for the maintain that I had last week. That is now giving me my 4.5 stone, which is 63 pounds. Wow. 63 pounds. Wow. Absolutely chuffed. Okay, I'm gonna do my job now. I did something this week that I haven't done since I was overweight, like since before I started losing weight. I went for a run this week. I got my lazy ass out of bed and I said, come on, go for a run. I've only done it once, and I posted it on my social medias, and literally that morning when I did the school run, everyone was like, oh, so you've been out for a run? Oh, well done, did amazing. I was like, I said to everyone, people will now be asking me, have you been running again? Have you been running again? I haven't been running again, and I may never run, and I may not run again for another 6 months, because running is not my thing. But I need to do something, and running does not require getting any equipment out. It does not require getting in a car. It does not require doing anything, and I hate it. I ran for literally 13 minutes. I did 0.98 of a mile. You can probably walk as fast as I can run, but I still did it, and I still got out of the house. And the only thing that I would say is I'm not a runner, okay? But I have run over the years on and off little bits, because I mean, everybody gives it a go, right? And I know I'm not a runner, but there was a definite improvement on the running being 4.5 stone lighter. When I tried to run when I was bigger, it was hard, it was painful, it hurt, my chest hurt, my knees hurt, my legs hurt, my everything hurt. And I think that also just shows how difficult it is when you're first starting off with any exercise, because when you're carrying around that extra weight, I mean, it's like running with a backpack on full of bricks. It's so difficult to do exercise when you are bigger, because everything just hurts and you're carrying all that weight round with you, and it's just not good for you. I mean, it's not good for you just walking and living with all that weight on you. It's just so difficult. And I guess it just reminded me when I went for my run, do you know what? My knees didn't hurt. Once you get past that first dying breath, like the first quarter of a mile, then it was okay, and it's just continuous. But I couldn't even walk up the stairs before without being out of breath. So it was much easier, and it does make me feel like I could do it again. Maybe I will. A lot of people would say now, oh, you're coming into winter, don't think I could do it now. I actually prefer it when it's dark. I like going out and running in the dark. I like running on early mornings when it's dark. I like running on evenings when it's dark. And I don't know what it is about being dark. I guess I can get wrapped up. I'd be all hot and sweaty, and then you don't want to wear any clothing when it's summer, and I don't want to do it in the summer. I actually do prefer exercising in the winter when it's cold. So to me, this is like exercise season for me, not the summer. So you never know, maybe I will, maybe I won't. We'll see. I did also say last week I was going to get my blood pressure checked, my annual check. I went to the doctors on Tuesday and they took blood and did my blood pressure, and my blood pressure was still high. So it is not related to me being overweight, which I had hoped it was. I didn't know if I had high blood pressure before I had kids, and then I had kids and got even fatter. I always thought, well, maybe it's just weight related. I mean, the weight can't be good for you, but my blood pressure is still sitting high, even on my medication. And I've just got high blood pressure, so I'm just gonna have to deal with that. I was sitting about, on average, 139 over 90. 139 over 90, I think, is where I was sitting. Obviously, ideal would be 120 over 80, so my blood pressure is still sitting a little high. It's not white coat syndrome because I had to take blood pressure readings. They asked me to do it twice a day for 4 days, which I did, and yeah, I was sitting about 139 over 90. So there we go. Such is life. Okay, I'm gonna love you and leave you. Thank you so much for watching, and all your comments and your likes and you beauties. Have a really good week, make really good food choices, and I'll see you all next week. Bye.